from Oscars in beautiful downtown Palm Springs. It's the Mark and Tony Show, starring Mark Lantero and Tony Pomponio. Tonight's guests are the multi-talented singer-drummer Buddy Greco Jr. and singer-entertainer Ron Greenip. And now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mark and Tony.
What a crowd! What a crowd!
Our new setup here. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, no, I feel
What
like,
a crowd.
I
Always
feel
got
like
to say what a crowd.
I love saying what a crowd.
Okay, well, very good.
Even though I can't see them.
That's all right. But we know they're there.
Yep.
We also know that there are fire engines rolling by right now. So
Well,
that's
because
good.
they heard our show started, so I figured I better come up about the fire. All right?
All right, so what's going on?
Too much excitement. Well, you tell me. What's going on these days out here? Obviously,
Well, I'll tell you what's really important that's going on in the Valley right now, and I'm sure the audience is aware of it too. The golf tournament over at Mission Hills is starting.
Yep.
It's the ladies PGA, and I feel somewhat torn a little bit because it's the last year that they're going to be here at Mission Hills. They're
That
going to
is
be
correct.
moving. They're moving out. I believe it's Houston, Texas. Is that right?
Yeah, because Chevron took over sponsors. In fact, we had a lot of people in the crowd probably remember when it was the Dinah Shore back
Correct.
in the day,
Back
and then
in the
later
day.
the Kraft Nabisco.
Exactly,
And it's a shame they're leaving us,
exactly.
but you know what? They'll probably find something else to replace them because
Well, I hope
it's a
so.
real vital, important part of our,
We do. We have
Sure,
a lot of different events that take place out here in the Valley. We're very blessed. We're very happy about that. The weather, everything is very good. What are you doing? What are you doing? The crowd's this way.
I know, but remember last week what happened? We had that big
no.
Amazon show up and take over our show.
Oh, you are right.
You know, I'm a little worried about it.
I'm a
For
little
those of
worried
you who
too.
don't remember, show last week, we
Yeah.
had this large lady come out. With
Very
this
large.
Very large, and literally pushed us off the stage and took over our show. So we're on the lookout.
So what else is going on real quickly before?
I don't know. I mean, we're having a great time. The weather's been great in the
Weather's
desert.
been perfect.
You know,
The
one of the
weather's
things
been
one of the things we should bring up though
Yes.
is all the events we've been attending at Oscars.
We have been. And we have to give credit to Dan Gore. He just won a very prestigious award here
correct.
with the Chamber, and it was for Grubhub.
Grubhub, yes.
And it's a great award for him, and we just wanted to extend and say congratulations to him.
Well, it's fun for us to be here and be
Yes.
part of it.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest this evening. He's an iconic singer here in the Palm Springs and Coachella Valley area. He once sang at Melvin's
For many years.
for many, many years. And everybody, a warm welcome for Mr. Ron Greenip.
Papa loves mambo, Mama loves mambo. Look at them sway with it, getting so gay with it, shot no lay with it. Wow. Papa loves mambo, Mama loves mambo. Papa does great with it, swings like a gate with it. He was his way with it. Now he goes to, she goes through, he goes fast. Goes slow, he goes left, she goes right. Papa's looking for Mama, but Mama is nowhere in sight. Papa loves mambo, Mama loves mambo. Having their fling again, but then scream again, and then sing again. Wow. Papa loves mambo. Mama loves mambo. Don't let her rumba in, don't let her samba. 'Cause Papa loves mambo tonight. Papa loves mambo. Mama loves mambo. Hey. Papa loves mambo. Mama loves mambo. He goes to, she goes through, and he goes fast. She goes slow, and he goes left, she goes right. Papa's looking for Mama, but Mama is nowhere in sight. Papa loves mambo, Mama loves mambo. Having their fling again, hear them scream again, feeling their sing again. Wow. Mambo, Papa. Mambo, Mamba. Let her rumba and let her samba. 'Cause Papa run some mambo tonight.
Ron, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
welcome.
That was a fantastic song. Everything.
I enjoyed
Excellent.
it. It was fun. Thank you.
Since I did the intro here to have you come up on stage, and we talked very briefly about Melvin's, I was wondering if you could just give the audience your experience of how it was at Melvin's and a little backdrop.
Sure. Well, first of all, it was a wonderful experience. For those of you who don't know, Melvin's is a kind of a legendary, kind of has a Rat Pack feel to it. Oh, yeah. And I was actually asked to just fill in for 3 days. And I figured I could fake 3 days. I didn't really think I was the right person for that. I had just started doing solo work.
Okay.
So, but I thought, well, I can fake it. You know, I got a couple tunes that'll work. So I was mixing in some younger stuff with the older stuff, and I wasn't sure, you know, how it was going to go. But as it turns out, the 3 days turned into almost 8.5 years.
8.5 years for that.
Yeah.
Wow, please.
Yeah.
I mean, that is fantastic. Talk about a gig that just keeps going.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't want to get off track, but obviously you spent some time with Mel Haber as well.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
do a couple Mel Haber things. I'll tell you, I had done some solo, but it was generally you're off doing a party, and all of a sudden I'm sitting down and everyone's looking at me. It made me, I was nervous, but I didn't want to let Mel know. So it was like high season, I was still getting used to it, and I come walking in the back door and the place was packed. And my heart's going like this, and Mel comes walking up to me, he goes, "Ron, guess who's here tonight?" And I said, "Mel, I don't know if I want to know." "Clive Davis and his crowd is here tonight." And he's a legendary music producer. I was really upset. I had to get down into the men's room and sit there and gather myself.
And it is down to the men's
room.
room.
Yeah. But you know, I don't want to say I had a voice, but I was getting nervous, and then I realized if I was getting nervous, I was missing the whole point.
Yeah.
I must have thought it was about me, and instead of, you know, I realized, well, I'm doing something that people like.
Yes, sir.
So just go do it and get over your nervousness.
And just have
a good
fun
time
with it.
Exactly, and it was a great night because, you know, the formula didn't work every night, but I knew he was coming in about 9. I started at 8, so I saved some of my best stuff for after 9.
You had a good warm-up for that first hour.
Fortunately, the crowd knew their parts. Everyone was singing along. It was really great. And Clive came in, and he sat down with his crowd, and you know, he was there to have a piano bar experience. He was singing along to all the songs, and his group was singing along. And when they got up to leave, it was only there about an hour, but he walked past, if you know Melvin's, he walked past the piano, and first he just walked past, and I was a little disappointed, and then he stopped and he turned around and he reached all the way over the piano and went like this to me. And I'll tell you, it was almost a highlight of my career.
That's a compliment of all compliments right there.
Clive Davis liked me. He had a good time.
You know, most everyone probably knows in the audience, but Mel Haber was the owner of Melvin's at the time. And he was an icon here in the desert. He did also did a lot of great things for the local community. But you know what? It's all about you right now. And I'm going to ask you another question here. Okay. Is it true you spent some time living in Iraq?
Yeah, I was the son of a diplomat, and when I was 4 years old, we got on a little converted freighter, and one of my 5 times across the ocean. We moved to Baghdad, Iraq.
Can you imagine?
And
wow.
We were there until there was actually a bloody revolution, and the government was overthrown, and we got rushed out of there and went to live in Rome for a while.
Oh, one of my favorite places.
Well, my mother was Italian, so
so Rome was beautiful.
And then we were back in the States for a while, but then I lived in Amman, Jordan for 4 years.
Okay, so let the audience know about the experience about being there. How was Jordan? I mean, it just...
Well, it was some of the best years of my life. It was back when it was more okay to be an American in the Middle East. And there wasn't a big American community there. I only had a few friends. There was no TV. There was no anything. My father hooked me, whenever an archaeologist would come into town on a dig, he'd see if I could come along.
Oh, wow, so what an experience.
I have an incredible interest in ancient history because I got to go on some really incredible digs, Jericho.
Wow.
And I was in the Qumran caves and where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. And I got to meet King Hussein of Jordan.
Wow.
Yeah. I've never been one of those people who complains about life, because I've seen third world countries when I was really young. Yeah. I got to see how fortunate we are.
Yes.
To be
How lucky we
Americans.
are to be Americans, huh?
Big time.
Yeah. Since our producer Sonny Veloci is also a Philadelphian.
Oh, Philly.
The
I
Philly
had
boy.
to make sure I brought this up because it says that you performed in the Steel Pier and also in Atlantic City, and that whole time there. How was all of that between Philly and that?
Well, it was fun. I was on the Steel Pier TV show. There's a Steel Pier, there's an auditorium in Steel Pier that also appeared with Lee Andrews and the Hearts, an old band from the late 50s and early 60s. But I was on the Steel Pier TV show. It was actually the last time I was on TV, was the Steel Pier TV show.
Then we feel privileged.
Oh, yeah, it's exciting. It took another 50 years or 40 years. But I was on with Jay and the Techniques. We had 2 hits, Apple Peaches, Pumpkin Pie, and Keep the Ball Rolling. They were
Cool.
what they called bubblegum soul music. That was the way they described those hits.
Well, listen, we thank you for being here, and
We'll be right back.
Kimball's unique boutique, located in beautiful downtown Palm Springs, is for women who are not afraid to attract attention. Our clothing is feminine, flirty, fun, and fabulous. Get the latest look. Large selection of jewelry, hats, and much more. Personalized service inspires our customers to keep coming back. Kimball's Boutique, across from the Hyde in beautiful Palm Springs. We look forward to having you shop with us, and don't forget to mention the Mark and Tony Show for your 20% discount on your purchase.
hi, I'm Mark Lantero.
And I'm Tony Pomponio. Tune in every Thursday at 1 o'clock on Spectrum Fox 11 or Channel 33 on the Dish and DirecTV Network.
Music, comedy, interesting interviews every week on the Mark and Tony Show. Be there!
The saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. At GRA's Visions, we create photography that speaks volumes and comes across loud and clear. Specializing in beautiful portraiture, we also offer photographic excellence from corporate to candid, in banquets or backyards, and from formal to fun. GRA's Visions is the only real answer to your photographic needs. So if you want it to look great, call 760-218-1938.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is known throughout the Valley, playing for the musical group Hot Wire and the Mercer Sutter Band. The son of a legendary singer, Buddy Greco, and a great performer in his own right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Buddy Greco Jr. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You got whiskers, you got blisters on your hand. They call you mister, and you claim to understand. You got the lefty, the man around the knees. So lift your banner to the breeze. It takes heart to be a man, heart to be a man. You bear the brunt of the breaks. You are in front for all your mistakes. You take the weight and you don't bend. You stand straight through the thick and the thin. It takes heart to be a man, heart to be a man. Woo! You think once
All right, how about that, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, we are always out and about around town, and during the week.
I don't know if that's good or bad to say, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, we're out and about town. You know, we're here and there and all that business.
Okay.
And so I guess it'd be a good idea if you told us, where can we see you?
Well, every Tuesday night I am playing drums with the fabulous Brad Mercer Band at Fantasy Springs Casino at the Lit Lounge. We're just tearing it up over there.
Oh, yeah.
You guys came to see a show. We're
A couple
just
of them, yeah.
Yeah.
some of the greatest players I've ever been privileged to play with.
What time does that show start?
At 7 o'clock, and we go straight through to 10. No break. I need lasagna after the show. You know. So that's with Brad. My own thing, I have a band called Hotwire. And Doug, the wonderful acoustic guitar player who's going to play with me, is the lead guitar player in that band. We have a fellow named Tim High, and we're out and about at least 2 or 3 times that same week.
Locally or out of the valley?
In the valley. So we'll do the Tuesday with Brad, and then we'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday with my band. And we're just playing all over the valley. You can just check us out on
good.
Facebook and
Very, very
see where
good.
we are.
So tonight you played the guitar.
Yeah,
Right?
unfortunately, as best I could.
I think you did a great job.
I think
but-
you're just perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. Audience, did you do a great job? There it is.
But if you show up to Fantasy Springs or when you're playing elsewhere with your other band, he plays the drums as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this guy's quite the drummer. I mean, I've heard some pretty good drum solos.
Then they weren't me.
No, really. I mean, I agree
Seriously.
with Tony.
Don't be
you've
so
done
modest.
Yeah,
You're good.
You're doing a
You're
very,
good.
very good job. Now, my question is going to kind of segue away from music a little bit, but kind of only a little. I know we talked before the show, and you brought a picture of family.
Well, my dad, who coincidentally was in the Rat Pack,
There you go.
was the famous singer-entertainer Buddy Greco. Obviously, I'm named after him.
That's why the lady is a tramp. I like to hang her hat wherever I please and fly with a breeze. Yeah, hello dope, hi-ho. She thinks that Sandy Koufax is still a great big champ. That's why the lady is a tramp. Go, buddy! Goes down to Coney, and she thinks the beach is divine. Look out! She goes to the ball games and thinks the Mets are fine. She reads Walter Winchell.
And Dad had an extraordinary career. I think he recorded over 80 albums,
How about
which
that?
is why he basically had no money. This is a picture of, gosh, I hope you can get this, and I'm going to put this here. So hopefully you can get this on whatever camera I should be looking at. This is November 4th, 1963. In London, England. Dad had the #1 hit in England at the time with Lady is a Tramp. Yes, he had the #1 hit, not Frank. And when he landed at the airport, actually, he saw a lot of screaming kids around, and he didn't know what that was all about. So when he got to the theater where this was, I can't remember the name of the theater offhand, he saw all these thousands and thousands of people there. He thought everybody was there to see him because he had the #1 hit. Little did he know that there were 4 guys called the Beatles who were on the show the same night. And they were the ones they were actually screaming for. And if you look at this picture, and I hope, Sonny, you can really get a great shot of this, my dad is leaning forward, shaking hands with the Queen Mum. And if you look just a little bit to the center of the picture, you can see as clear as day, there's Ringo, John, Paul, and George just about 4 feet from Dad. And Dad had a lifelong friendship with George till George passed away. And that's in 3 of George's books. He actually has pictures of him and Dad, and thanks, Dad. So that's pretty amazing. So Dad knew about the Beatles before we did, but they asked Dad, Mr. Greco, what do you think of the Beatles? And Dad very smugly said, well, if I know anything about music, they'll be around for 3 months. And every time George and my dad ran into each other, which seemed to be every 3 years at an airport around the world, they literally met each other every 3 years around an airport around the world for about 30 years. George would always go, Buddy, 3 years, Buddy. And George would go, I'm sorry, George, I'm sorry.
And Dad also had a restaurant out here for, I'm not sure how many years, but...
Dad had the restaurant here for about 7 years. Before I came out, I think it opened in 2006. I didn't come out till 2008 to start playing drums with him. That's another story altogether. If you want to hear it, it's up to you guys.
Well, let's hear it.
Real quick.
This is, yeah, please.
He had the drummer there, and I came in and I said, Dad, I can do this. You're a rock and roll drummer. You don't read music. You don't play jazz. So I said, okay. So one day I just said, all right, come in. I memorized 55 of his charts. That's a lot. I don't read music at all. And
the point of 55, memorizing
55
that,
charts.
yeah.
And he came into rehearsal. Me and Danny, the bass player, just said, just listen. And we played a couple of songs, and he stopped, and he just kind of went, when did that happen? I said, Dad, I've been playing like this my whole life. Most people think I kind of grew up in a Hollywood life. That is not the case. My parents real quick divorced when I was 3, so I grew up on Long Island. So I was not part of the whole out here gang. I didn't grow up with Dad. I saw him once a year.
Okay, so see, the audience may not have been aware of that, so yes.
So I did not grow up real privileged and have the sort of upbringing people thought I did. I grew up in a very middle-class home on Long Island, New York, and it was wonderful. I got to see Dad once a year for about 50 years when he would come through on tour, and that was it. He was concentrating on his life. He was married 5 times. Which was a lot of fun. That's another story altogether. He was just searching. So I didn't have that. So to finally break through after decades of saying, Dad, I could do that, his jaw dropped. He hired me that day, fired his drummer, and I was his drummer around the world for 5 years, and I didn't read a lick of music. And people would say to me that I was the favorite drummer that they ever heard with Dad, and I would say thank you so much, because he had the greatest musicians in the world playing with him.
Well, I have to tell you, I would love to have you come back to the show, because there's so many other questions we'd love to have you.
I would love to. It's up to you guys.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it.
Wait a minute. There's one more thing, though. I mean, real quick.
Oh, yes, very quick. I have this brand new CD out called Out of the Shadows. This is great. Where I unfortunately play every instrument on here, except for lead guitar. I wrote all the songs except for 2. It is getting some really great reviews. A lot of local people are really liking it. It's opening up some doors for me with some other people. So if you're not doing nothing, want to hear something really, truly original that's kind of quirky but really good.
It's extremely good because I was lucky enough to get one of them, and I've had the opportunity to listen to it. And
I as well, yes.
The music is fantastic in this, and you do a really, really good job in this. So everybody, please take a look-see.
Thank you very much. You guys are so sweet.
All right, Tony. Take it from here.
After the break, will you do another song for us?
I most certainly will if you want me to.
I'm so glad you said that. All right.
Kimball's Unique Boutique, located in beautiful downtown Palm Springs, is for women who are not afraid to attract attention. Our clothing is feminine, flirty, fun, and fabulous. Get the latest look. Large selection of jewelry, hats, and much more. Personalized service inspires our customers to keep coming back. Kimball's Boutique, across from the Hyatt in beautiful Palm Springs. We look forward to having you shop with us, and don't forget to mention the Mark and Tony Show for your 20% discount on your purchase.
Ladies and gentlemen, Buddy Greco Jr. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Woo!
Well, I'm sitting here wondering if Matchbox hold my clothes. I'm sitting here wondering if Matchbox hold my clothes. Ain't got no matches, sure got a long way to go. I'm a long poor boy and I'm a long way from home. I'm a long poor boy and I'm a long way from home. Everything I do turns out mighty wrong. Well, if you want my peaches, honey, please don't shake my tree. If you don't want my peaches, honey, please don't surround my tree. I got news for you, baby, leave here in misery. All right, Doug. Well, let me be your little dog till your big dog comes. Let me be your little dog till your big dog comes.
Buddy. Wasn't Buddy fantastic with that song?
Buddy was great.
It was a great show all the way around. Even Ron
Greenip did a great job.
Now, do me a favor. I have two lovely ladies sitting to my right. Would you do the honors of, my God, introduce these women for me, please?
Me?
Yes, you.
You're the one that does all the talking all the time. You want me to do the introduction?
Tonight is you.
Oh, listen. Well, we have the lovely Laura Hagen. And the one and only Angela. Yes.
Laura's been handling the duties of the control board in the back, and Angela was doing the intro for us this evening. And I know Angela very well because she plays my wife on Mark's Place, and she has destroyed me on numerous occasions. I would say really she's destroyed you.
Well, yeah, so. She hit me one time in a place that I won't even mention, and another time she slapped me in the face. And it was one of those Will Smith moments.
But I handled it much better than he did.
Yeah.
I used to close fist. He only.
I know you did. That's why my face is a little crooked now. So thanks to you,
Angela. You have some programs that you're doing right now, aren't you?
I do, and I've been working on my show, Colliding Worlds, and Steve Tangy and I are working on a pilot that I have called Always Here, and we're doing it with a few alumni from Mark's Place.
Perfect.
And last week I had the privilege and the honor once again of being a judge at the Indian Wells Art Fair. So this is my 6th year doing it, and if you missed it this year, it's definitely worth the adventure to go see. It's at the Tennis Gardens, and it's world-class artists. It's absolutely amazing.
So a lot of things.
How about Laura?
Yeah, how about you, Laura? What are you doing?
Well,
other than sitting up here gracing the stage with us.
I'm in the middle of moving back over to La Quinta, where I purchased a home, and it has plenty of space to put together my big band that I did years ago.
I'll be darned.
And I'm gathering my parts together.
Very good.
Show band, and not everybody does that anymore. And it's going to be a wonderful project. A lot of musicians to work at the same time.
Awesome.
So, Tony, how do we always close the show? Ladies, until then, we'll see you next week.